Well, a very good afternoon, and thanks for clicking on to the 31st edition of the Global Weather and Climate Report. This is the scene from near Lake Tahoe in the Sierra Nevada of California. Incredible amounts of snow across the right up and down the spine of the Sierra Nevada in the last couple of weeks. We've had tremendous amounts of snow, as you can see here. These huge banks is a pretty common scene in this part of the world. It is among the deepest snow cover anywhere on the planet at the moment. And every so many years, we do see scenes like this in the mountains of California. Believe it or not, it isn't just sunshine and desert. We do have all sorts of extremes in the state of California and the western half of the United States overall. But just remarkable, beautiful scenes, but also very dangerous scenes, of course, as well, with this amount of snow on the ground. So, thanks and welcome for clicking on to the weekly roundup of global weather extremes, and we will have a glance through what's been going on around the world in the last week or so, and we'll look at the 2 meter temperature anomalies for the month so far, for also the year so far. So let's get right to it. This is the temperature anomaly around the planet. This is off weatherbell.com for the month of February, and of course, it was a very mild month for many parts of the planet, especially across Europe, and much of Asia has been above normal temperature wise. We did see a warmer than normal central and eastern portion of the United States. Southern Canada warmer than normal, colder than average. Western United States, particularly so to the north of Hudson Bay, as you can see here. Greenland warmer than normal, and also this corner of northeastern Asia was seen firmly below average. A bit of a mix across the Australasia. We also seen a largely colder than normal month for Africa. This is the month of March so far, of course. These vibrant colours between cold and warm tend to be more pronounced at the beginning of the month, and then it kind of evens itself out a little bit less extreme looking as the month progresses. But certainly, it is a very warm start to the month in Greenland. There has been record warm temperatures on the west coast of Greenland. We'll look at that in just a second. Also, exceptionally warm in large swathes of Russia, as you can see here, northeastern Africa, through the Middle East, and into parts of northern India, Pakistan, Iran, where we've seen temperatures into the 40s, believe it or not, already. So a quick start to the heat season in this subcontinent region of Asia. Very cold across parts of northern Australia. We've seen some heat across the east and west, cool in between, as you can see here. Western half of the United States, some exceptional snow events, even in the mountains surrounding the typically mild temperate LA basin. Also, as well as that, in San Diego County, we've seen some extreme snowfall, and we've even seen snow mixing in with rain down near the beaches of LA and San Diego County. So unusual stuff here. Very cold still across the eastern and northeastern portions of Asia, as you can see here. Big extremes between central portions of Russia versus the far east. Cold across Alaska. Very warm across the southeastern United States and also much of Canada, and the UK below average, and expected to be below average. If you look at the ECMWF weeklies here, this is the projection for the next 30-day period, and you can see here we've got the strong block across the top of North America, particularly so across Greenland, and the focus of that ridge, it looks as if it's going to be over northeastern corner of Canada, the Baffin Straits and whatnot. We've got the negative here extending from North America across into Europe here. If you look at the same period for the temperature anomaly here for the 30 days, you can see it is firmly below average across the United States. Still a focus of the cold notice here over western portions of the United States and western Canada, warmer than average where that block is situated over northern portions of Canada, Greenland. We've got a below average expected across the UK and across Ireland, honing in on Europe, as you can see here. And this is what the temperature normally looks like for the month of March. So it looks as if it's going to be below average according to the ECMWF, according to other models, and according to this channel. I've been saying that March will be a below average month. So we'll wait and see what happens when all is said and done. So there has been a lot of extremes around the planet, as has been the case, and as is the case anyway. Of course, we know that we get extremes of heat, cold, rain, dry. That's just the atmosphere and what it does. And of course, at this time of the year, you increase that with the winter season. So certainly parts of California, remarkable snowfall. This is the scene from Yosemite far region within the park itself, and this is the snow depths here following a major blizzard in the last few days. Tremendous tweet there by Colin McCarthy, young lad there based in California, has been his Twitter feed's been just taken off in the last few years. I think his popularity on social media with regards to the weather and his deliverance of weather information has been pretty impressive, actually. Just a young lad, and he's doing exceptionally well. But yeah, extreme temperatures across parts of South America. We've also got extreme cold conditions early on for the Antarctic Peninsula. We've actually seen temperatures down to -65, which is near all-time records, by the way. This is the extreme heat across parts of Argentina in recent times, temperatures as high as 40 to 45 Celsius. This is off Thierry Goose. I quite often, more or less every week, look at Thierry Goose and Maximiliano Herrera's Twitter feeds. They look at the global picture in terms of the extremes that have been going on around the world. So I tend to like to look at this because it gives you a better idea, a better flavour of what's going on around the planet. But exceptional snowfall in the mountains of British Columbia, as well as California, Nevada, Utah, where we've seen several stations recording upwards of 500 plus inches of snow for the season. We've got 10, 15 feet of snow on the ground in some of these ski resort areas and mountain areas of the Sierra Nevada. So very, very impressive. And of course, this is welcome news because we've had the ongoing multi-year drought in California. This, of course, is quite important for the upcoming summer season. Canada largely above average for the entire winter. So this is the average temperatures for the entire winter. And you can see here some very mild conditions for the December through February period, especially across parts of Quebec and Ontario, even up towards close to average, I suppose, up towards the north shore of Hudson Bay, below average actually, a full 1 degree below average actually at Cambridge Bay here in the Northwest Territories, as you can see here. But we've got quite the extreme, if you notice here. We've got plus 1.3 at Whitehorse in Yukon, Old Crow near the Alaska border, a full 2.5 degrees above average, but then Inuvik is minus 0.5 Celsius. So quite a big difference actually in a relatively short distance, which is quite interesting to see. Continuing to look on and see what's been going on around the planet over the last several days, and of course looking back, a lot of the data now being collected for the month of February. You can see here 45 Celsius has been recorded in some stations in Mexico. This is off extreme temperatures around the world, or Maximiliano Herrera is the chap that produces this feed. Yesterday, 2nd of March, the temperature reached 45 Celsius at a place that I can't pronounce. This is historic because it's the earliest 45 Celsius ever recorded in North America. So that is very, very notable indeed. This is the contrast. Again, a tweet by Colin McCarthy. This is the contrast between October last year. Of course, it's coming off the dry season, so sometimes I think this isn't a great representation in some respects, but it is amazing to see, of course. So this is October, and this is March so far, and you can see what's notable is this is the Greater Area Basin here. You can see the snow in the mountains of the coast range here, and some snow cover almost extending right the way to the Pacific coast, which is quite noteworthy, of course. Not unusual to see exceptional amounts of snow, of course, in the Sierra Nevada, where the mountains are, upwards of 14,000 feet at Mount Whitney. That's the highest in the lower 48. It's not unusual to see exceptional snowfall here, but it is unusual, this, every so often you get these big snow events that can have snow depths of 20 feet plus, especially in the month of March. This is the interesting one here. Exceptional low temperatures on the Antarctic Peninsula. Vostok Station dropped to minus 65.2, which is very rare for early March, according to Maximiliano. As a reference, the Southern Hemisphere lowest temperature on record for February is minus 65.5. So that is very close to an all-time Southern Hemisphere record, which is quite interesting and really quite notable, actually. Of course, goes on, talks about the big heat across parts of South America. Also, some highways in British Columbia also been blocked for the last few days due to snowfall. Yeah, very interesting stuff, of course. Maximiliano always looks at each individual nation, sees what the temperature normally has been for the previous month. So 1.8 Celsius above normal in Austria for the whole month, the whole winter season, 1.7 Celsius above normal. Germany, exceptionally mild as well, of course. We've got the big extremes at the moment across Europe, and has been the case in recent times. Minus 10 on parts of the Iberian Peninsula, while we've seen temperatures as high as 29 Celsius in Cyprus and in Turkey. So summer-like warmth in the southeastern corner of Europe. Big extremes across Australia, as I've said already, and big extremes across the United States. Summer-like warmth across the southeastern half of the United States. Winter-like cold in the west and northern plains. Temperatures high as 105 Celsius. This was back on the 1st of March at Falcon Lake in Texas. Hotter with the proper phone or fern effect, should I say, conditions in Mexico could even hit temperatures of above 110. Well, we know that the temperature reached 45 or 113 Celsius in parts of Mexico. But some of the extreme temperatures, Falcon Lake, 104, did hit 105. This is the earliest 104 ever recorded in the United States. So that 105 is the earliest temperature such reading in California. We've seen the earliest such reading in Mexico. So extreme warmth across parts of the world, but we also have seen extreme cold as well. Ireland, February was very mild and dry. Temperature normally 1.9 Celsius above normal. I do know that there's folks in Ireland that a bit of a criticism in terms of sometimes I miss you out, and I do apologise for that. It's not deliberate. It is accidental. Sometimes I do focus too much in the UK, so I do apologise, and certainly I try my best to cover every angle. It can be quite difficult. Quite often I have all intents and purposes on mentioning certain things, and you get into that mode when you're doing the video and you end up forgetting stuff, and it's very, very frustrating actually. Very, very warm conditions, of course, like I say, across central portions of Asia. Temperatures as high as 30 Celsius. We're seeing record-breaking heat across parts of China, Libya, so northern Africa, 36.5, and back to Argentina's warmth, and the United States, Australia. We've seen remarkable warmth across parts of Europe, of course, including the Netherlands and Belgium, and parts of Africa seeing extreme warmth. So yeah, a lot of things going on, and it is hard to try and keep up with everything. Just don't want to miss out on anything here before I close off, because I'm just about to run out of time, and I have done. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you again next time with more. Bye for now.